Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here. Welcome back to some more White Sox baseball. We're working into the month of May. We're about midway through. And looking at this, we've won quite a few games. We're going through this. We are 18-33 though. We have lost against good teams. We've lost against bad teams. We're just not consistent. But there's more W's than we're used to. We had a bad start to last season, and we're technically at this point 26-41, seeing this Crosstown Classic, the second one of this, with all the fun uniforms that we're going to be wearing with the Cubs and the White Sox. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think we're playing better than we did last season and better than what we're thinking about, because we're always slated to have 68 wins, and it might be the time where we bring up our best prospect who we saw there, Robert Mitchell. It might be time for him to come up. We're going to see Davis Martin today out on the mound against these Cubbies, who are having a bad day. So Chicago sports, at least baseball wise, is not having a great time. And so we'll see who can win out of this one. And Nico Horner gets a lead off double. Ian Happ up next. Martin gets this one high, and Nico skies this out in center field, and that will be caught and thrown in. No one wants to touch Isabel's arm, or at least Nico Horner does not. Next batter, Seiya Suzuki. That's going to be hit ground ball to Vaughn, and that's going to be missed. It's going to be thrown to the cutoff, maybe a play at home. I don't know. They're going to mark this one an error. Should have been fielded at first and kept the runner. JT Realmuto out here next, and that's a swing and a miss. And Michael Bush is down. Realmuto's out on deck, and he's also going to swing and a miss. A little bit of foreshadowing, but both of them do strike out when we get out of that inning. Today on the mound will be Jameson Taillon. He's 2-6 at this point in the season, and this pitching has not been great for the Cubs. Breaking ball with a sweeper outside. Bobby Dalbec misses that one. That's going to be the first strikeout for the Sox today. Duran up next. Another sweeper outside, just about the same spot, and he misses. Can Conforto not get fooled? Well, it's a four-seam on the outside. He has some good contact on that deep. But a good jumping catch out in left. Nick Madrigal back in the Cubs. And while he is staring at that one, former White Sox and Cubs player back here playing in Chicago, P. Crow Armstrong, the young phenom out here, is not actually that great in the game, which is insane. In real life, he's done a pretty good job. And this one, Sosa just pins it off Jameson Taillon's hip. He will be all right, but fielded, and that's going to be an out. Kyle Teal up next. Breaking ball, and you're not fooling Kyle Teal. That's crushed out in left field into the bullpen. Bounces back over the wall, I believe, from there. But you could put that one on the board. It is a one game in the bottom of the third. That's a leadoff shot. Kyle Teal is looking like he's going to be the starter at catcher. So we might be making a couple changes with some veterans at catcher in the minors. Bobby Delbeck with one on, and that's going to be probably a pitch we should have taken, but it was good contact. Just not able to get enough solid contact. Duran's up next. Going to be a ball up the middle and a good backhand field. I think that's Dansby Swanson at short. At this point, it could be Nico Horner, because Madrigal might be playing second. But here's JT Realmuto swinging and missing at that one, and that is another strikeout, the fifth for the White Sox on the day. And here's why the Cubs are struggling. It's not been great for the Cubs. 3-7 out of the last 10 games. It's probably still better than our last 10 games. But Carter's looking to break that one as even. Evan Carter out in right. That rocket. It's going to be a 2-1 game, and that is awesome. The Southsiders taking this one, and we're trying to put some more on the board, but still, it's only a 1-run game and anything can happen at this point. Davis Martin against Christian Franklin. That's going to be hit over the middle. That's going to drop in front of Isbell for a leadoff single in the top of the 5th. But an error there, trying to throw it in the second, and Sosa can't field it, so there will be an error. He will move the second. Nick Madrigal up next. Hit down the line. Carter able to make the play, and the runner will hold at second. Good arm out in right field. T-Car Armstrong up, and that is a great off speed, but we played at second. I thought he actually caught that. I didn't see that it was a hopper, so we don't get any outs. Nico Horner here, shallow and left. Duran's going to field that, throw it in. It will stop the runner from advancing. 2 outs. And with this one up, Ian Happ looking. We're going to go in with the fastball, and that's going to be up and over the zone. Happ has played great, and we're going to take a mound visit, look at Davis Martins. Now, I want to keep Martin in for maybe one more batter, but it's probably not the smartest play. At this point, you have to come out and probably take your pitcher out. But for some fortunate reason, I didn't actually do that because I wanted to press our bullpen more. So Ian Happ, 1-1 count going through, and that's wildly down, but no runners can advance after that one. 2-1 counts. Gonna try this fastball up again. He swings it. High fly ball deep and right, playable by Carter, but that will have a sacrifice run. And P.K. Armstrong with that 98 speed will come in from second to third. Seiya Suzuki up next. Swing at that strike. And we do get out of the inning, but maybe it wasn't the smartest thing to do. Probably should have taken out Martin, and we could have maybe prevented that. Now Isbell here in the bottom of the 5th. Hit over for that leadoff. Hit out and left. And Hallian's still out here pitching. And we're trying to get into this Cubs bullpen, but with only 48 pitches because we're swinging a lot. Miguel Vargas, close to into a double play. He does beat the ball at first, but here's Duran, and that's a hard hit line drive up the middle for a base hit. 2 outs. Runners at second and first. Michael Conforto out here next. It's a breaking ball hit hard and hits just before being caught. Ball's thrown in. It's going to be a bases loaded opportunity. Italian's going to be taken out by Craig Counsell. They're going to go to Keegan Thompson. We'll see he's pitched 31 innings, decent ERA. Andrew Vaughn up next with a breaking ball hit hard, but playable and right. We strand all 3 runners out here as we bring in Ben Joyce to try to keep this ball game a 2-2 game and give us a chance. Top of the 6th, Michael Bush going to be down the line with that little flare, and it will go all the way to the back wall. Duran throws it in, and that's going to be a leadoff double. JT Realmuto, though, going to strike out for the 3rd time against that 102-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Dansby Swanson, who was actually playing at short, and we see the steal, but I didn't realize it was a strikeout. Or maybe it was a really weird circumstance. I got confused. Christian Franklin, though, will swing and a miss at that one. And now we need to keep this one a 2-2 game. Hit high by Nick Madrigal, and we do field that one in right center to end the inning. So the Cubs strain 2, but we're able to get it and keep it a high ball game. Lennon Sosa at the bottom of the 6th, 1 out against Keegan Thompson, does draw a walk. Kyle Teal with the home run earlier, gonna swing and put that straight into a double play, but no! It's thrown over to the first baseman, and I was trying to be greedy. He's out at second. Kyle Teal does not have that speed, so it's a double play either way. Ben Joyce out against Nico Horner with an 0-2 count. Base hit there. Now against Ian Happ with 1 on. And Happ with a four-seam down the middle, it has a chance, and it's going to be off the foul pole. And the Cubs open this up to a 4-2 game. And again, maybe I kept Joyce in too long. Just like I kept Martin maybe in too long. Going in the bottom of the 7-3-2 count. Isbell out here. High flyer into deep right. And that's going to be out of here. So we cut it into half. 4-3 game. Trying to fight back, get the rally caps going, and get something. But this is a difficult one. Cubs do have a decent bullpen, and it's just them not hitting the ball has been their issue. Tyson Miller out on there. And here's Michael Conforto with one on. And that's going to be a rocket into center. And Michael Conforto, we brought him in here because he's the big bats. Can make the big plays. Can hit the ball as DH. His 11th of the season. And Craig Counsell is thinking like he maybe should have taken out his pitcher at this point, like I was earlier. Andrew Vaughn up next is going to be a single. And the 2-out rally, we're attempting to try to keep on going it and trying to get some insurance runs. Even Carter out there next, and that's a 4-seam inside, and that's easily playable out in center. So we do have 1-run lead as we go to the bottom or the top of the 8th. John Curtis, another guy we got from the Rule 5 draft, and that's JT Realmuto, at least making contact this time, but it's an easy out right. Dansby Swanson up next, and that's going to be down in a walk. Next one up, Christian Franklin. We try to put that down. It's to Sosa. Can we turn 2? We get Dansby Swanson, but we will not get Franklin at first. So the Nick Madrigal, and that is down. And a great glove by Vaughn down the line at first to end the inning. Kyle Teal out next, bottom of the 8th, 3-1 count, one on, and he has a single to advance the runner over in left. Kyle Isbell, 3 for 3 on the day, and he will not make it 3. It will not make it 4 for 4, I should say, as that one is a foul ball behind third plate or and third base, and that's easily playable as Vargas is an infield fly roll. Easily playable by Bush over on first. And here we go with something here. Bobby Dahlback with Luke Little on the mound. On the 8th. First pitch on this 2-out at bat. And Bobby Dahlback with the monster hit out in left field. 472 as we get the 25 and ever achievement here. Bobby Dahlback, 12 home runs on the year. And we are doing it. We are going to take this game. Of course, our pitching has to hold strong. So we're going to bring out James Karenchik and Pete Crow Armstrong. That's a nasty, nasty swing. Top of the 9th, we're going here. Nico Horner still. Carter has some wheels, and he's able to get there. Next, to get this last out, Ian Happ, James Karenchik line up here, and Ian Happ is going to take this 1 yard. The power that Ian Happ has is going to be a second home run of the day, and unfortunately, it's just not there. So we need one more out. Seiya Suzuki out here, and he's going to swing and a miss on this 4-seam, and we take this game against the Cubs. Now, of course, the Cubs beat us at this point in the series, I believe. This one, I think, evens out the first series or the second series, or at least gives us at least not a sweep, but still, hey, we need to get it strong. It's John Curtis, though. Whenever he's come through in the game, he has a 5-0 record. That is crazy. So as we work into July, we're seeing a lot of our notifications, and we're seeing some guys doing some decent work, mostly our starting pitchers, but we're still not hitting very well in the minors. When we're looking at the roster itself, we're going to have to move around some players to eventually maybe spur their development. But also, we need to evaluate where we are with a lot of these guys. Now, we're trying to get over to the MLB draft, which will be next episode. And we're not going to have any All-Stars, unfortunately, this season. as we kind of work through this. And you see how inconsistent we are. We beat Cleveland 3-1, dropped 2 games out of 3 to Texas. Then Minnesota were able to get the first game out of that one, but we're just not consistent. At 40 and 53, we're still kind of in the race because it's only halfway through the season at this point. But our team rankings are 29th overall, 29th in contact, 28th in power, 27th in pitching, 17th in defense, and 10th in speed. That's not great. And I think we need to have good fielders come in and actually play sooner rather than later who we draft. Now, we're not as many games back. Maybe we could go for a younger player at this point, for a guy that's not playing on a different team. The Cubs, though, 34 and 60. So we're actually doing better than the Cubs are by 6 games. When we're looking at the scouting at this point, I've kind of leaned for some of the outfield of what we're kind of looking. Maybe center field. We're 30th in center, which has not been great. The trade right now, I'm going to up the trade slider a little bit so the AI does a little bit more trades, but that's what we have so far. And then when I went on the trade block, I looked and found Miguel Garcia. Now, he's not getting a lot of at-bats in Kansas City. He only has about 3 years at the MLB level 26, B potential 77. 3 years at the MLB level 26, B potential 77. Contract isn't that much at $2 million. So we're going to make a trade for him at this point. I was looking at who they were likely to offer, and I didn't really like some of these offers. So we went ahead and eventually made our own offer. I was looking at guys like Owen White. We weren't really going to play him in that. So what I ended up doing is Jora Arate, who was a relief pitcher, we moved him over to starting pitcher because he's actually a good long stamina pitcher. And Justin Henry Malloy will actually play sooner rather than later with KC as opposed to him play with us. We do get a couple of more prospects back that will be in the minors, but the main thing is Garcia will be playing at third while Bobby Dalbec moves over to second. So we actually have an upgrade at third. We have an upgrade at second. We move around and we actually have some good stuff. Now, Teal has kind of emerged as the catcher at this case. So Corey Lee was brought in kind of as a backup or something like that, or maybe the starter. We're going to move him. We're going to get Herschel Martinez. He's a 61 overall B potential. Maybe he develops into something, maybe he doesn't, and we'll go from there. When we're looking at scouting, I think the top 10 picks that I've seen most of all have been in center and outfield, nothing in the infield in that. So how this kind of scratches out right now in 2026 is Bobby Dalbec good at second, Miguel Garcia at third. Duran ends up in left. Evan Carter is at right. Those are our long-term guys that we're building around, as well as Colson Montgomery at short. We need to think about first pitching. Kyle Teal is solidified at catcher. He's not going anywhere. And we have Edgar Cuero as the backup catcher. So he's not going anywhere. So we have Ramos that could come in as the guy. Isbell's a placeholder. Will Benson maybe is a placeholder at that point. And we have to think about DH and a hitter. Michael Conforto is there, but we need to figure out what we're going to do. In the pitching idea, Ben Joyce is team controlled. You have Braden Montgomery might come in the center for a little bit. Robert McKell will be up at least next season. Jose Hernandez is pitching great. Owen White may come up and pitch at some point in the bullpen. James Karenchik kind of falling off, but he's fine. John Custis is in there. So we're building a team. The issue is more so at pitcher. Noah Schultz might be coming up in September when we maybe move on from another pitcher. Jonathan Cannon is there. Hagen Smith, Drew Thorpe. Maybe we move on for Drew Thorpe and we kind of go with some other ones. Maybe Davis Martin is the one that's traded to do that. So get a lot of options. We need to build this team. So next episode will be the draft. Thanks for hanging out. Go and leave a like, below, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Later.